Good morning, AO. Shelley Merrell here. I am a fire protection contractor in Ventura, California. I have a list of questions here, and I'm here to give you my opinion or share my experience with you. And I'm actually a couple minutes late because my team realized today is my 33-year anniversary with the company. Actually, it's on Sunday, the 21st. But they threw me like a little surprise anniversary party. So that was kind of fun. I don't have that information, I don't have the pictures handy to show you guys, but they brought me cupcakes and a flower, and yeah, it's cool, really cool. 33 years. It's longer than most of these people have been alive. So it's kind of shocking how quickly time can fly. Anyway, I'm going to jump right into this and give you my opinion on these questions here. The first question is from Greg Mandile. I think I'm saying that right, Greg. Sorry about that. Should I set up KPIs for my business and why? Background: I am a web design and development company. I've been introduced to KPIs, but I don't currently use them. How can they help me better organize my business, and what KPIs should I focus on? It'd help if I could read. Okay. So yes, KPIs, key performance indicators, are always a great tool to have in place for judging what your employees are doing. And the reason why they're so important is they help you to... Hi, Sean. Oh, I meant to say, Sean, I know we're not supposed to text or anything to wish you well, but I'm thinking about you and hoping that COVID is not being too hard on you there. Thinking about you though and wishing you well. Okay, back to KPIs. The KPIs what they will do is they will help you find problems before they become bigger problems that you see in your financial statements and whatnot. The KPIs are great, not only to help you to pinpoint issues going on within your company, but it also is an incentive for the employees. The employees actually like to see them as well. They like to see when they're doing well, or if they're not doing very well, and everybody can kind of see that KPI, then it's an incentive for them to maybe step up their game or to move on, and as Sean would say, free up their future for something better. I am actually guilty of not having good KPIs set up, and it's been on my list for the last 3 years that we've been talking about those with Sean. I do have better tracking than I used to have, but I still have to work on my KPIs too. When you're determining what KPIs you want to use, you want to think about what are the keys to your success of your company. Is it the number of sales calls that a particular person is making on a particular day? Is it because you're web design and development? Could it be maybe how long it takes somebody to complete a project? That would be a great KPI. You could also base KPIs on customer surveys. If SurveyMonkey has free surveys that you can send out to your customers, and you can get a lot of information from those if you can get a customer to actually fill them out. I've had trouble with our customers not wanting to take the time. I deal with a lot of maintenance people who computer work is not really what they want to do. They don't want to get emails. They don't want to respond to things. So it kind of depends on your customer base as well if the customer surveys work out. But that is a great way to get information on your company too, is those customer surveys. So I hope that helps. I do recommend them. And feel free to reach out to any one of the mentors to get more help on setting those up. But you'll be looking at the things that will make you be successful. Next question is Ricardo Delgado. What are some practical ways to show team members appreciation? Background is I own and operate a barbershop with 3 other barbers. I want to continually show gratitude and appreciation. How can I practice this habit without breaking the bank? That is a very good question. I have some employees are receptive to little things like tokens. Not really like a trophy thing, but you can get things like these coins, little coins that say thank you and it's gratitude. I don't know, you could have a contest where you're giving these out throughout the year for good deeds, or for say they get a great customer review or response, or somebody says something great about them, you could give them one. And then at the end of the year you could have maybe a giveaway to who has most of these, who has the highest number of these throughout the year. That's one way. Certificates are often good. A lot of people like to have certificates on their wall above their desk. You could do Employee of the Month. It could be just a plaque with their picture on it, and come up with the parameters to what would classify somebody as getting Employee of the Month. And it could even extend to, like, say the Employee of the Month gets a certain special parking spot for the whole month. That makes them feel special, and it wouldn't cost a whole lot of money. Starbucks cards are one thing if your people are coffee drinkers. Movie tickets is another thing. Or you could do something like a monthly lunch. It could be something as simple as Subway sandwiches, but you guys all sit around and have lunch and just kind of take time to bond. You could also, what I've done here is we have a day where the guys will spend the first part of the day cleaning, organizing, doing things that we've neglected during the regular time, because the work schedule is so busy. But then we will take the afternoon and play games and have lunch and just kind of do fun stuff to do team building and kind of break that routine up. So those are some things, just throwing it out there, that I would recommend. And the one thing that I've noticed with showing appreciation is sometimes you have certain people start to expect things. So if you do it too often, it loses its meaning and value, and then also it can become expected and almost like a competition type thing. It can turn negative. So just be aware of that, and hopefully that helps. But it is very important to show our gratitude and appreciation. There's several surveys that came out saying that the things that keep people at their job is typically not even money as the motivating factor. It's whether or not they feel appreciated. And so that's a good thing to keep in mind and to really be doing. Okay, next question is Leanna Kolinsky asked, how do I find money to pay for things as a new business owner when cash flow is super tight and we just don't have money for certain things like websites, marketing, etc.? The business description, I've been trying to set up the website myself, but it's been very difficult. I've done that kind of stuff too, and it is difficult when it's not your area of expertise. I I've checked YouTube, how-to videos, tutorials, etc., but it's far too confusing for me. I've looked into Fiverr, but am hesitant. I know I need a better e-commerce website and some other things for the business in order to grow sales, but I feel stuck knowing how to get it done and pay for it. How did you find money to pay for things in the beginning? Well, I was in a different type of situation than you. I actually bought this company from my previous boss. He started the company. However, I was right there with him growing the company. And we were very, very, very conservative with our expenses. And so when we were estimating jobs to do, we made sure that our overhead and profit was the right amount so that we could constantly be taking that money and putting it back into the company and growing slowly. And that's for the most part what we did. There are loans available. We did not take out loans. You could get an investor. I personally don't want an investor because then it's almost like you have another boss that you have to answer to. So I kind of feel like that's not a way I would go, but it is an opportunity out there for other businesses to take. It's possible you could get like a fill-in job at, say, like Upwork. If you had a specialty that you could be doing or doing data entry for somebody, you could advertise on Upwork and get kind of a part-time gig going, so it would bring in more money, so you could be putting that into your business. It's also a possibility, maybe you could trade services with somebody. If there is a person who is doing the website and stuff, maybe they want some caviar for Christmas, to give out to somebody. Maybe you could exchange services that way, or the products. And then also what always sticks with me is that, like what Sean was mentioning a few months ago, is he was making extra money just dog sitting, letting people bring their dogs to his house, and he would take care of them while they were out of town. I thought that was brilliant. That's awesome. So there are different ways you can come up with money to help fund your business, and those are the things that I would be looking at. Part-time job, any service you can provide to somebody that they'll pay for, that's what I would do. I hope that helps, Leanna. Okay, the next question, Richard Delgado. How can I incentivize employees to stay longer with my company? The background, I own and operate a barber business. I feel like I can find a way to give them, I feel like if I can find a way to give employees stock shares or bonuses, that would incentivize them to stick around more and grow with the business. If there's any strategies that worked out there, I would like to hear about them. Thank you. I can say from my experience, I was given 5% of the company. I didn't have any, I did have say because I was the main person in charge, but I didn't have any say in the big decisions, if that makes sense. I was just a 5% owner, but I was a 5% owner, You could do that, give them out that. What ended up happening with me when I bought the company and had the loan structure set up with my previous boss, I ended up paying out there was two of us that had 5%, and I paid off the other guy, and so I ended up having 100% ownership. So just know that if you are doling out 5% here, 5% there, it can create a conflict among the 5% owners. So be cautious of that. Just from my own experience, I went through that a little bit. Are there certain responsibilities that you're doing that you could delegate out to one of those other employees to help them feel more empowered and like they're contributing more? I'm wondering if that would help. Also, discussing with them about investing in their future. Like, I'm thinking along the lines of like future training. I know right now I've got my guys in an apprenticeship program so that they will earn a particular license that will go with them if they quit my company or get fired or whatever. That stays with them like as if it was their driver's license or something. I'm wondering if there's a possibility that, say, like a new haircut comes out that's a new fad, like the fade, you could send them to or pay for them to learn how to do that particular cut, maybe, and just kind of invest in them, but knowing that's something that they could take with them if they leave. I hope that helps. Also, if it's possible, maybe having an apprenticeship program where younger people could come in, and say you'd have an employee who has his own apprentice working under him. I wonder if that might make them feel more empowered and excited to stay at that company. That's something. You can create a bonus structure where, say for instance, they're bringing in their work, they're doing all that, and you have your sales, but then you have your profits, and you could set it up to where if your company profits over a certain amount of money, then you'll bonus the amount, a certain amount or a certain percentage of that profit. You always want to be careful to make sure it's based on profit, because you don't want to get stuck in having to bonus somebody out on something if you're actually like losing money overall. Those would be my ideas on that. And also just sharing the vision. Do you have your core values in writing and on a wall somewhere? Is that something you guys focus on? Sharing that vision and keeping it in the forefront of their minds is always very helpful to help keep them involved in the company. So hopefully that helps with that one. And then my last question is also from Ricardo Delgado. How does company do employee annual reviews? How would a small business approach this to employees when it's never been done? Background: I own and operate a barbershop, want to start doing employee reviews. I want to approach this correctly. Any advice is appreciated. Marcia O'Connor is our HR specialist mentor here in the group. She would have more information than I do on this, but I can tell you from the reviews that we do, we have a form. I can actually, I'll post a picture of that in the group and tag you or something. But we have a form that we go through, and it's got, specifics on it. We go through and we kind of like grade them, and then we schedule a time where they're going to have their review, and we sit down and tell, like in your position, I would put out an announcement saying, hey, I'm going to start doing employee reviews. It'll be, you can choose to either do it on the same day every year, or you can choose to do it on their particular anniversary date, or if you're doing it quarterly, or however you want to set that up is up to you. But you schedule a meeting and go through each bullet point and go over the strengths and weaknesses of each item, and discuss what value they bring, discuss what your expectations are for what you want them to bring or maybe step up. It's always good to stay positive in those annual reviews, and keep in mind that the term annual review has often been connected to, oh, I get a raise. So a lot of times they automatically assume that they're getting a raise. So when you announce this, I would recommend saying this is not attached to a raise, but we're going to start doing these annual reviews so that we can see what your strengths and weaknesses are and where anybody might need improvement, and see how I, as the business owner, can help you with that. Those are the things I would do, and that we do here. So anyway, hopefully that helps. If you have any other questions at all, always feel free to DM me. I'm around, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your month.